And the thing I love to do is talk to you guys, you wrestlers, just talk about wrestling music and specifically talk about wrestling themes too, because
Yeah.
they're such an important part of wrestling, and I don't think we talk about it enough. We don't think about it enough. Maybe over the last couple of years, it's gotten a lot more visibility in mainstream and things like that.
Well,
But
you know why though?
why?
Because it's been bad. I don't want to say bad. I just don't think like it's not connecting worthy when it comes to the wrestlers and the fans. Like such a big disconnect. In fact, there's a clip from WWE. There's a clip of Seth Rollins watching the Rumble, and somebody's music hits, and he's jamming out for a second, but then you can see him say, "Who is this?" And I'm like, bro, you're in the same company.
Yeah,
It's not his fault, you know. It's not WWE's fault. It's the people who create the music for these for the wrestlers, and it's also too. And like, I'm not like pooping on the wrestlers or shitting on the wrestlers, but it's also hard to write a story or music for a wrestler who doesn't have a character. Like when we sit down with WWE or somebody, like when we sat down, it was very like clear what I wanted. When you sit down
yeah,
with other people, it's like, well, I like this and I like that, and I'm like, well, what does this have to do with your character? What are you trying to portray? I know when we talk, and we'll talk about the creation of my theme.
yeah,
You know, I was very specific. I had an idea of what I wanted to do with it. I had an idea of how it changes the atmosphere in the room, how it changes my mindset for when I go through the curtain. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people are so gun ho of like, oh, I like this theme song, or you know, this is popular, or like, there's a line in here out of all the other lines, you know, that makes sense, but then the rest of the song doesn't. So it's just a lot of like music right now since probably like 2010-ish, maybe 2010, the last 14 years, I guess, have been unoriginal. Like I said, like there's a really bad disconnect when it comes from that first bar to when the person comes out, where I might have to question who this person is until the bell rings, you know, or maybe until the bell rings at the end. And then I'm like, okay, I kind of get that. But then like the music is such a disconnect. So
yeah.
yeah, I think that's what the chatter's coming from. There's a lot of chatter, but I don't think it's a lot of good chatter.